Okay, special welcome to all our listeners to today's podcast. Today, I am extremely excited to be having a conversation with one of the inspirational leaders in the area of digital transformation. Talifan is just an inspiring uh, business entrepreneur man who is so invested into digital transformation. So, Talifan, welcome to my podcast. It's
Thank
so great
you.
to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate their platforms because this is how we get the message across in the continent. So I appreciate what you're building.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'd love you to just tell our listeners who you are and just the journey that you've walked to be where you are today.
I've been walking a journey of believing in self. I'm coming from a small town in Limpopo, part of South Africa, that I was introduced to entrepreneurship early by my mother. She was a trader. She was a basic survivalist trader. She had a spaza shop. So from there, I learned to trade. I learned to sell in different places. But I was fortunate enough to be not bad in academics. So in school, I was on the A side of, especially in mathematics. Everything else I don't remember. I think I was an average student. And then in my high school, I think I was the only one who went to university that year. But although it was very sharp people, but people couldn't balance all of them. Went to University of Pretoria. I studied statistics, majored in econometrics. So that's why I understand economics and calculus. Learned there about behavioral economics. Went to, not actually, I thought I was going to work in the bank, but the banking process was too long for me. I looked at it and I said, this is not for me. I'm rejected. I looked at retail and FMCG as my industries. I fell in love with retail and FMCG because you're working directly with products. So I worked, first job, I consulted with an international company called Damon Worldwide. I was consulting in a company called Massmart. It's Macro. Macro is one of the largest retailers in the southern region. And then I moved to Pick n Pay. I don't know if you know, Pick n Pay is also one of the largest retail distributor. And then I went to a manufacturing company called Grohe. It's also from Europe. Yeah, so as I was working, I was doing, first started as a private label analyst. Pick n Pay, I was a pricing analyst. Grohe, I was a pricing and cost analyst with advanced analytics. And then AutoZone, I was like a BA, business analyst, analyzing all the count. I was reporting to the CEO of AutoZone. And that's when I knew this is for me. 2017, I decided to start analytics advertising. The idea was to build a consumer insights company that is connecting business with consumers, but through data-driven solution. As we start building solutions, as obviously the model is driven by building technologies, data engineering and data science. But as the more we start building solution and technologies for some of the large corporations, we realize that there's a need also internally to use data-driven decision through HR, through finance, through sales and production for those who are in manufacturing, because people just produce a number of products. Now there's a need for a system that tracks how many units to produce at a given demand. So when you perform forecasting and predictive modeling, you know why you have to produce certain products for a given demand. And that's what made us a company that helps large organizations become digitally transformed.
Beautiful. What a beautiful story. But I want us to pause just to dive into your entrepreneur journey because, it's actually not easy to be able to break through in this industry and to actually go and acquire those clients that believe in what you do. Can you just sort of give us more insights in terms of you launching out? I read somewhere or I listened to one of your conversation online where you decided you're leaving and you told your wife and she was like, go for it. Just talk to us about that process. And everyone knows that starting and building a business is a difficult thing. So for the sake of those who are listening, please can you just give more insight?
I grew up in a business family, so entrepreneurship helped me kill the doubt. I don't have doubt in my mind when I'm doing something. I believe in myself 100%, and I don't wait for somebody to tell me. So I tried business, two business before analytics advertising. The first one was with the university students. What I picked up from there was so much knowledge, but I was the only one working. The other guys, they just sit there and wait for things to happen. So I moved, and then with the second business was with my cousin, and he was into music. So I invested so much in production and all these media things, but I realized the media industry is not, there's no mathematics around it. It's designed on people just want to look like they are doing it when they are not. Behind the scene, they just borrowing money. I don't want to be in that environment. And also it's like designed on lies kind of thing. So I didn't see myself there. But at all these two companies, I learned one thing about myself. I'm a hunter, I'm a go-getter, and I'm passionate. And also I revise my strategy constantly. So I just connected that with my knowledge, which is in analytics. And I try and think, what can I bring, which I already am aware of. And at that time, I couldn't think of anything than analytics and advertising. And then when I told probably my wife, 2016, that next year, I want to start this thing. I want to start doing and specializing. And it was because after she have seen me walking around doing a lot of projects with media people, and what she's seen how I do business. But now she was just like, what will hurt, what will hurt to try it? 2 years after we'll go back, And also I was in a very top tier level because I'm reporting to the CEO I'm about to approach 28. So I'm still, it's like I can always go back and touch it again. We agreed. She actually loaded me with some money also. She gave me some monies to start with. I also had some monies. And the vision was to create a platform that will help people who are like me, who are innovators and who are big picture thinkers to start living. Because in corporate, people like me, I felt like I was not myself. I'm just managing a system that I'm not allowed to upgrade it, to grow it. I'm not allowed to be beyond what is the next person understand. And also, just because I'm here with you does not mean this is all I know. I used to live in the street selling, trading. The things you are telling me, they're just 5% of me. So I feel limited. I was feeling limited. When I was studying analytics, it was very much clear to me that that's where I belong, whether I'm failing or not. That's where I exist. So as soon as I got that, I was ready to start. When I started, it was no going back. It was a one-way ticket. I had to make it. And how I made it happen, firstly, when you start, you feel like you know everything, you are smart, but in the field, it's very much open. You don't have nothing. Foundation is clear. So no handouts, no network, no connection. And you have to now start thinking, how do I solve this? As you run through the year, you realize that you're just not consistent. The income is variable. There's so much variance in it. You're making money probably quarterly or just after some time. Now you need to solve that and bridge the gap. How do you do it? What was the mistake? Some of the mistakes was the business you were getting were not consistent. Some of them were small. Some of them were not reliable, because when you're starting, you just do business with even small people who don't even believe in themselves. They don't trust what they're saying. Tell you they will pay on the 31st, they don't pay. So those are the things that I was going through 2017. And then I realized, okay, I need to shift the model. I need to go a little bit bigger, because it's like this model won't exist in these emerging guys. So I started targeting large corporation 2018. I'm targeting the biggest company, emerging to large at that time. And when I'm in those boardroom, I'm realizing that every time is like I have to prove myself for the first 30 minutes. So something is wrong. And I'm now realizing I need to solve this again. This is like mid 2018. But I'm still making something. It's like 50,000. Something is coming. It's just not consistent. It's not.
Are you already employing at that point? Are you already employing people?
2018, absolutely. I'm an employee. I've got an office in Rosebank. But I probably have like 2-3 people at the time. Then I'm realizing I need to advance this. I need to change this, because most of the challenges we have is when you go to market, you are not known. So they don't trust you. They can't give you their system. They can't give you their data. You don't know about it. So I had to solve it. I need to get known. I need to be very much visible. That's when you started seeing me on LinkedIn, started to communicate what I do. I know, I mean, this is beyond being smart, beyond whatever. And I was a very quiet person, but you need to get out of your shell. So I learned to get out of myself and start becoming a person who present a solution to somebody else. I looked at it like, if you go to someone and say, I can help you, and you help them, they will help you get somebody else for you to help. So it was just about adding value as you get back, and that's what transcended. It just started exploding. Also, one of the things that I knew was my knowledge is limited to this, so I need to get sharp people in their industry. That's everyone we have here is an innovator. It's a smart brainer. So that's the goal. We want to get people who know how to execute, so that when you are there, you don't flop. Yeah.
Beautiful. What a beautiful story. So would you say LinkedIn then helped you to scale your business? Would that be correct?
It helped me tell my story. So also to explain what I do, because some people have their own interpretation of what technology is, what innovation is, what digital transformation is. They don't understand it. So I had to introduce myself through my story and also what I do. It gave me an introduction platform, which means now when I sit in that boardroom, I don't have to keep explaining where I'm coming from and what you already have said it somewhere. So it's just about what solution am I providing and what can I build for you. And from there, we take it from there. Some were success, some didn't go right. But as I grew, I learned from the experience, and I started bringing very, very sharper people with MBAs and all of those that I saw that was an opportunity for the business, and we started expanding naturally. So
Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Such a very inspiring story you have. Let's now dive into talking about data science. The hot talk now is that data is the new currency, and there's a lot of talk around data science. Let's start our conversation by defining what data science is in a very simplistic manner that a person on the street can understand. What is data science?
data science is nothing like it's maths basically, but maths that is computerized. So if you had to count people working in the spaza shop, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sarah and who and who and who came in the store. 6 people came to us today. Now it's a supermarket. Mostly 1,000 people are coming in the store, and you can't count them all of them one by one. So you are probably recording them in the system through purchases. So now you're saying, okay, there's different customers who are coming, 1,000 in a day, and they're buying different things. So data science is the use of maths, computers, which is coding, and science to understand the customer behavior, or to understand any behavior that is happening within a system, whether that system is on it's on finance, it's on sales, it's on behavior of customers. That's why now when you walk in a store, they can ask you for your card or the reward card to add on the insights to understand your behavior and your patterns of what you buy. But data science can be used in any industry, can be used in freight, like in delivering logistics. You want to understand which truck is moving where, at what time, how much time do we need, how many trucks do we need at a given day for given delivery. You start tracking. Or you can use it for in law. You can build a system that tracks information. Some of the information that lawyers have is some that is repeated every time. So you can store it into, if a criminal did this and that, they will get this charge. Then if that information is stored into one system, you can now analyze how many criminals come for what, how many this and that. If this case comes for this, it's usually falling under this. So data science can be used in any industry to a point where any career can be derived with data science. So you can be a human resource person with, for example, if you are a head of human resource and you're having a lot of people in the company, but there's a high turnover. If I ask you what is causing turnover, you say, most of the time is people are just not interested. But now we've got a system that tracks why they're not coming. Some people are sick. Some people don't like the boss. Some people don't like this. Now you can track them and say, there's the reason for high turnover of staff is because of maybe people are sick, it's during COVID, or they smoke too much, so they go for whatever, and then they end up leaving, or they always applying when they're on the system and stuff like that. Now you track it through data. So data science is the use of understanding information using systems in a basic simple term.
Beautiful. Well explained.